Good morning, hot tots, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Sophie. I'm on Green Plan as of right now before the plans change. And I've been on Weight Watchers for almost 2 years. I started in November of 2019. I've lost about like 46 pounds. I don't know, I haven't weighed myself in a minute. I was on the Blue Plan for my first full year that I did WW, and then since then I started with Green because I realized I wasn't taking in enough calories with the way that I eat. So I thought we'd do a little walk and talk. As you saw on the front of this, the name of this video, I'm talking about personal points. So I looked into what the new plan is going to be about, right? And I actually know some people who know some things. So from what I gather, here is the new plan's reveal, okay? So it's going to be called personal points, and it's going to be more tailored to you. So one thing that I think is going to be great is they are getting rid of all 3 of those other plans and they're combining, and it's just going to be one plan again. I think this is cool in the sense of that we don't have to worry about, figuring out which plan would be best for us, changing up plans. Like I know some people went from blue to green to purple to back to blue, Now it's just going to be one plan and it's going to be personalized to us. And what they mean by that is, for one, they do have like a diabetes plan now. So if you are someone who has diabetes or has pre-diabetes, stuff like that, you can enter that into there and they will make sure to accommodate for that. Also, you will be taking a quiz. I may or may not have taken the Australian quiz because it's already live in Australia. And on that quiz, I saw a lot of questions about how do you like to eat? When do you find that you are losing control of your eating, like timing wise, like the weekends, weekdays, when you're sad, stress eating, all of that. Different things like that, like when do you usually binge? The weekends, yada yada. So it really takes into account a lot of your actual personal activities and personal mental strain that you have with weight loss. It also asks like how your sleeping schedule is. Do you usually get 5 hours of sleep, over 5 hours of sleep, under 5 hours of sleep, yada yada? Do you move a lot at work? Are you pretty stationary? Are you an active person in general, or are you not? Just different questions like that. And it does ask too, like when you weigh yourself, does it affect you mentally? Like things like that. At least the Australian quiz did. And then from there, it assesses your points. To me, it looks like a lot of the blue plan, aka smart points. Okay. It's in the 20s. At least that's what I got. So it's like 23 points or whatever. So I feel like it's like more blue plan based because then you get to pick your 0-point foods. So I saw that you got to pick your 0-point foods in the sense that it goes to starches. From the starches, you have like 5 options: corn, potatoes, blah, 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 blah. And you choose which one of those starches that you eat most often, and you can make that a 0-point food. So for me, it'd be a hard between potatoes or corn, but I do eat corn more often. So I would put corn as 0 points, or like someone said to me, they put potato as 0 points because potatoes are usually more points than corn, even if you do eat corn. So, whatever. So out of all the starches, you pick which one you want to be 0. Then same thing for like out of all the, fats. Like right now, like you can choose to have avocado be 0 points. What? You know what I mean? So they go through like there's like 5 different groups, and you choose out of the 5 things that they give you, the 5 different options from the 5 different groups. You go through and you choose one of the each, and those are your 0-point foods, which means that other people could pick different 0-point foods. I think this is going to be super helpful, especially for those of us who were like, oh, I'm not eating enough calories, which is why I chose to go onto the green plan from the blue, was because I realized the way that I eat, when I'm hungry and I want something, I eat it. So like I'll eat a whole bagel in the morning and take up 10 points, for an everything bagel with cream cheese. And then I only had, at the time when I was on blue, like 13 points left. So I would just fast the rest of the day and then eat dinner. And then when I looked at how many calories I actually ate, I ate like 1,100 calories or something really low. This is like a great way to incorporate more of those calories, because if I chose corn or, you know, potatoes or something like that, I would eat those for 0-point foods, but still have 23 points. So it says the new plan, the points go up with sugars and saturated fats, and the points go down now with unsaturated fats and fiber. So that's kind of a switch up as well. And now you get rewards points. So it does say that if you eat certain vegetables, and drink water and are active every day, you will get added rewards points for your good behavior. So what I think that means is, if during the week, I don't know if they give it to you right away or if they wait until later in the week for the activity part, but I think the day of, if if that day you eat broccolinis and like all these things that they want you to eat and your veggies, and you track it, and then you drink 64 ounces of water, it'll be like you're rewarded 1 point, and it's like underneath your little 23 at the top, it says you've added 1 reward point or whatever. So they'll add a reward point for you for that day for being active or for drinking water and for eating those veggies. Now for the activity, that's what I don't know is, I know either way you can still log your activity, obviously, and then you get points for like your activeness, but what I think maybe would happen, I don't know if it's the day of or if it's the end of the week. If you're consistently being active, you get additional points, because they're saying like, good for you. You went out and like were active every day this week. Here's an additional point or 2 or whatever. So, okay. So just to recap, all the 3 plan colors will be going away. It will now be called personal points. You get a assessment, you'll take the assessment, and that'll help you with not only your base points, but your 0-point foods. The assessment will help them decide, how many points to give you, like it did before, like our base amount of points. And to me, it looks like it's more around the blue plan type of points, because you get to pick your 0-point foods. So I'm assuming the points will all be in the 20s for the most part, depending on your weight, height, activity level, yada, yada. And then from there, you get asked a questionnaire, whether you have diabetes or not. What type of foods, starchy foods, you like to eat most often? What type of proteins do you usually eat most often? Fruits, all of the different categories, and you choose. And based on what you choose, they can make those your 0-point foods. Then it also asks too, what do you normally like to eat? Sweet foods, salty foods, blah, 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 and be honest type of thing, so that they can accommodate your points accordingly to fit your needs and what you usually go for. So at the end of the day, it's going to be more personalized. Yes, people are going to have different 0-point foods. And what I think I'm going to do moving forward for my channel is I will just screenshot my screen for each meal. So you can see this is 2 points, 3 points, 1 point, 2 points, total 9-point meal. And you can deduct accordingly from your 0-point foods, or add accordingly for your non-0-point foods. And that way you can see what I eat, what I do, but also we'll be able to kind of figure out the meal amount for what you don't have as 0 and what I do. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's going to be hard. I think it's actually going to be easier than having to do all 3 plans points. And it looks like they kind of combined all 3 plans into one, which I like. You'll be able to really customize this plan, really make it your own, really make it about how you truly eat when you binge, what you go for when you are snacking or want something sweet, salty, and then also you will be taking in more calories because it's now acclimated to you and the way that you eat. So for example, I would be wasting points on corn, and I'd be wasting points on, other things. And now you have the option of which proteins you want to be 0 points. Which starches do you want to be 0 points? Which fats do you want to be 0 points based off how you eat? And they change everything accordingly from that assessment. So I think from that assessment, it might be where they give you your overall points and your 0 points. So your points may be lower than you're used to, because if they're thinking, okay, this girl's going to be eating a lot of corn, or a lot of potatoes and this and that because they're 0, we'll take her, you know, points down accordingly, like her main points down accordingly. You'll still have active points, but you just get additional rewards points for good behavior, you know, and for tracking. So I think this new plan is going to be awesome. I think we're gonna have to get used to it, of course, and like the new 0 point foods for us. But if they're catered to you, it's like exciting because you'll know, like I'll know always that corn is 0 for me, chicken and turkey is 0 for me. You know what I mean? Like the different things, I'll just know that that's 0 and it'll be so much easier to incorporate those into what I eat. So I think it's gonna be a really, really good plan. And again, like I said, that's how I'm gonna do my channel, is I'm just going to take screenshots of my app so you can see what points added up for me and what didn't add points, and you can add or subtract points accordingly. So just to interject, the one thing I do not know is whether or not, based off of what you decide your 0 point foods are, if that will change the points of what everything else is for you. I don't see that happening. Like, for example, like say me and you both have to have points for steak, but maybe I had chose potatoes as my starch, avocados and stuff, like higher calorie items for all my 0 point foods. Will the steak be 7 points for me, but 5 points for you because you chose lower calorie starches and 0 point foods? I don't know. So that's where I think, if so, then that'll be a lot harder on me, at least, to, or on everybody, to figure out what meals would be best for us based off of other people's meals and stuff. But I'm really not sure. Like, I don't know if they would change up the points, or if it'd be like, if you get points for steak, it's 5 points, you know what I mean, across the board. That's the one question I do have, and that's the one question I don't know the answer to. I'm really hoping that it stays the same across the board, so that, like I said, I can take a screenshot of my screen and you can just be like, oh, I pay points for corn, so I'll add 2 points there. So I know this meal's 9 points for me, but 7 for Sophie. You know what I mean? So it's easier, because if that's not the case and they do change all the points up, that's gonna be really hard. I would just have to show the screenshot and you guys would have to completely calculate everything yourselves. I will say I don't see them doing that. What I can see them doing is, if I pick all the more higher calorie foods for my 0 points, that they would just give me less overall points for my dailies. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see November 8th. That's it for today's video, you guys. I just wanted to let you know how this new plan was gonna go and have a positive outlook on it, because I think it's going to really help us, and I think we're going to eat more calories. I think we're gonna be more satiated. I think it's going to be easier because things we eat every day are going to be 0 points for the most part for us, you know? So like I said, the overall point number, don't be afraid if it's low, because remember that the things that you're saying you eat mostly every day are going to be 0 points. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't, because it really helps support my channel. I post every Monday and Thursday. I post tons of what I eat in a day. I post shopping hauls, all that, but mostly Weight Watchers content. So if you are on the Weight Watchers, anyways, if you're on Weight Watchers, you'll get a lot of content here. If you're just starting out, I have a lot of good old videos you can watch as well. But yeah, I'm also going to do a video next week of like my first full week on the new plan, so you guys can see what I'm eating, how I'm working the plan, and how it's going. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.